How do you know the meaning of a sumo wrestler's name? For most global sumo fans, that's as easy as going on a Reddit post and looking at a compiled list of their translations. Using the kanji symbols that represent a whole word or a phrase, one can easily make out what the meaning of a wrestler's name could be. That's why this Reddit post makes sense. This is the symbol for Mount Fuji. Well, this is the symbol for sunrise. Therefore, the highest-ranking sumo wrestler today, Teru no Fuji, the kanji translated into English means sunrise of Mount Fuji. But in reality, that barely scratches the surface of the real meaning of Teru no Fuji and the significance of being given these symbols. Teru no Fuji is a wrestler from Isegahama stable, and the stable in particular has a long tradition of using the character Teru. This is derived from the name of the great legendary yokozuna and former Isegahama stable master Terukuni, who is also sumo's youngest ever yokozuna. Today, Isegahama stable is led by former yokozuna Asahi Fuji, and thus the desire to continue honoring the renowned yokozuna Terukuni and the current stable master Asahi Fuji can be seen in the names of other Isegahama Bay wrestlers such as Terutsuyoshi, Midori Fuji, and even the great Haruma Fuji. But only one Rikishi has the honor of having the name that combines the shikona of both the great yokozuna and the current stable master. So really, it's not just about sunrises or great mountains, but really it's the dawn of the mountain of pressure that comes with being both Teru and Fuji. The online sumo community is full of articles, blog posts, and Reddit pages that try to Google translate sumo's shikona without looking any deeper. Sumo fans accept without question tochinoshin, roughly translating to heart of the sturdy horse chestnut tree, but often without understanding that tochi is a Kasugano stable naming tradition that dates all the way back to the 27th yokozuna, Tochigiyama Moriya, sumo's lightest ever yokozuna, who named himself after his home prefecture of Tochigi. The 27th yokozuna's shikona then means the mountain of Tochigi, the wrestler from Tochigi who is immovable and steadfast as a mountain. So you see, tochinoshin doesn't really just mean heart of a sturdy horse chestnut tree, but a successor of a great wrestler's unyielding spirit, which has rang true throughout the Jordan's career so far. But one name sparked my curiosity more than any other sumo wrestlers' names in the top division, and that's this, Nishikigi, well-dressed tree. I even double-checked it with my Japanese friend Ryo, who said it could mean bright tree, which doesn't really help. In Nishikigi's profile, the only background we get about his shikona is that he is the first sumo wrestler to take this name in 144 years. There was no mention of who the last wrestler named Nishikigi was. So who is this last Nishikigi, and does he even exist? Why did he name himself after a Christmas tree? I think this is another case for Detective Sumostew. As this investigation is about discovering history and culture through language, the Sumostew channel has partnered up with Rosetta Stone to bring you this amazing story of Nishikigi's name. And also because one of the major obstacles in this investigation about a foreign language is, well, I'm not very good in my Japanese. And I know because plenty of people have lectured me about my Japanese pronunciation. I've been working on my Japanese through the decades of tried and tested methods of Rosetta Stone, not just for the channel, but for my upcoming trip to Japan, hopefully to see the great Yokozuna Hakuho do his last Doyu Iri, or if not, to see sumo live. What sets Rosetta Stone apart from other learning apps is its immersion learning, where you can hear
Konnichiwa
speak, read, and write the language you're learning instead of memorizing a list of words. That's why you can expect to order chankonabe from a restaurant around the Kokogikan like a local with the Rosetta Stone Learning app, or finally understand the commentary by great sumo wrestlers like Hakuho, Takuryu, or Kisenosato when they are in the booth. But you don't have to stop at just learning Japanese. You can learn all the languages you want with the discount price of $179 from its original price of $299. That's just less than $15 every month for a year for a lifetime access to all the languages in the Rosetta Stone app. And you can even subscribe without any worries because Rosetta Stone offers a 30-day refund if you ever change your mind. So if you want the huge $120 off of your lifetime subscription to Rosetta Stone with a 30-day refund, please use the link below. For sumo fans like us, that's really handy for understanding the sport we love. Now back to the case. With a quick Google search of Nishikigi Sumo, there was no information in the English sources about why he had taken on this quirky name. Unlike Terunofuji's Shikona, there's at least a mention of how the name has been put together. The only good trail I can follow is to find out who that wrestler was 144 years ago who named himself a well-dressed tree too. And a simple tweak in my keywords led me to an okobie or big-head style portrait dated 1809 of Nishikigi Tsukagoro, a wrestler in the 1800s, who apparently caused the death of a 19-year-old in a sumo tournament in 1812 and never recovered from the tragedy, which might have caused him to retire a year later. But having died in 1821, he still isn't the last wrestler before our present Nishikigi to take the name, nor does anything about this painting tell me why do they want to be named after a well-dressed tree. Perhaps it's time to leave English Google and actually put Nishikigi's kanji into the search bar. And this is where things started to make more sense. Translating the two individual characters of Nishikigi's name come up with well-dressed and tree. But when put into context together, a more accurate translation is burning bush, an actual plant called Unimus alatus, a winged spindle tree native to Japan that flowers a bright red in the autumn. And so taking the same strategy to find out the other wrestlers to take the name of this ornamental shrub, it turns out there were 5 Nishikigis during the Edo period, and led us to the Juryo Rikishi Goro Oyodoya, who took the Shikona Nishikigi Shigenosuke from 1871 to 1874, the last wrestler to use the name until today's Nishikigi. Most vitally, we find what seems to be the last piece of the puzzle, the first recorded Nishikigi, the great Ozeki and contemporary of Raiden, Odashima Otozo, who went by 2 shikonas in his career, Nishikigi Tsukaemon, making him the first, and Nishonoseki Guneemon, which is the name he would use to found his beya, the Nishonoseki stable, where we find 2 other Nishikigis listed under, Nishikigi Tsukaemon II and Nishikigi Shigenosuke. Amazingly, there's a contemporary link from this investigation that might delight sumo fans today, as last year, the name Nishonoseki Stable was revived again by none other than Kisenosato, the last Japanese yokozuna, now named Nishonoseki Oyakata. But all of that doesn't really answer the question in the first place, right? Why did Nishikigi Tsukaemon, the first ever Nishikigi, name himself after a bush in the first place? It appears that the name may well be taken from a beautiful scenic spot in the territory of Nishikigi Tsukaemon's daimyo or sponsor during Japan's Edo period, where there is a park with a mound known as Nishikigi-zuka. But again, what's so special about a mound in a park? Tradition tells of a Romeo and Juliet-like love story that took place when Kazuno was just a village. According to the tale, a young seller of Nishikigi plants asked his great love to marry him by weaving 5 different colored trees into a single beautiful gate that grew outside of her home with each day he awaited her answer. In return, the overjoyed girl began to sew a cloth mixed with bird feathers to match his gift. But when the tapestry was finished and the Nishikigi gate was made of 1,000 bundles, the girl's father refused the proposal. The story tells of how the young couple each died of a broken heart from losing their true love. And in grief, the girl's father buried them together in the mound covered by 1,000 Nishikigi plants. So what connects the historic Nishikigi to the contemporary one? The rabbit hole takes us right back to the beginning. Despite being over 200 years and multiple eras apart, both Nishikigi Tsukaemon I and today's Nishikigi Tetsuya belonged not only to the same stable, Isenoumi Beya, but even the same region of Japan. Meaning that the modern Nishikigi Shikona honors his legendary predecessor and the legendary tale told at Nishikigi Zuka. Sometimes I forget how deep the tradition of sumo goes, and that's what I love about this sport. It's not just a great martial arts, but also an endless trail of learning about culture, language, history, and this time, epic folklore. Thank you for watching, and don't miss out on the huge discount for lifetime access to Rosetta Stone, the leading language learning app for more than 25 years. Partners of this channel help me make videos like this, so thank you so much to Rosetta Stone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!